What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I am here today to talk about The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 17, The Girl with the Diamond Earrings. So be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and before I get into the episode, let's go over some things that are going on in real time. So the reunion is filming today, Friday, September 9th. And so yeah, we know it's gonna go down at the reunion, and so I'm really excited for it. We haven't seen like the outfits or anything yet, but we know it is filming today. Paris Hilton has also been active on Twitter a bit. She's been liking a bunch of tweets. After this episode, she's been liking tweets. They're basically pointing out that Kyle Richards and Lisa Rinna aren't being very nice to Kathy Hilton over like the dumbest shit. So Paris has been kind of liking those. And she even quote tweeted someone who was like, oh, because Kyle basically made fun of Kathy a few different times this episode. And at one point, it was just when Kathy was trying to promote a tequila brand that both she and her other daughter, Nikki Hilton, they're both investors in. And Kyle was making fun of her and shit, not being supportive. And Paris quote tweeted it and was like, they were so mean. So she's kind of, and she's previously, after the 70s themed episode, like the Lisa Rinna Beauty launch party episode, all the ladies took a group photo, and Paris uploaded the group photo. She cropped out and she cropped everyone out except for Garcelle, Kathy, Crystal, and Sutton. And Paris was like, oh, my fave. So she's already kind of made her, she's not really feeling Kyle Richards on the show. We know that like, well, we know Kyle has fallen out in the past with both Kathy and Kim. That's just sister stuff. But yeah, we see Paris getting involved, a little bit vocal on Twitter about it a bit. There's also speculation that Denise Richards may return. So about, I think it was like 9 days ago now, sometime last week, Denise Richards did an interview, I believe it was with People. And she basically revealed, like the headline was like, Denise Richards open to rejoining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, even if Lisa Rinna stays. Because it was speculated before that like Lisa Rinna basically betrayed Denise and had a big part in running her off the show, essentially. And the speculation is that Denise Richards would not come back because of Lisa Rinna. But now she's like, I'd be down even if she stays. And now this is interesting because it's kind of universally acknowledged by even Lisa Rinna, seemingly, that she could very well be axed after the season. Just because she's been very unpopular and just her antics. I really think, as mentioned earlier, she needs a year off. Just at a minimum, just a year off. You know what I mean? Like, maybe then teach her a lesson, reassess her behavior, and then maybe revisit. But I wouldn't, either way. But if Denise comes back, then Lisa Rinna's fucking staying. Because obviously there'd be that tension, there'd be a storyline. Lisa Rinna would have to atone for her past wrongs. We've seen her done before, but hopefully she'll be held to the fire a bit more. But anyways, that's speculation. And Diana also filed a lawsuit. So she did this lawsuit, and it's basically something about having to do with the bots, because again, there's speculation that she is allegedly behind all the bots that were going in after Garcelle's son. But mind you, there's also speculation that it was Erika, speculation that it was Lisa Rinna, speculation that it was a third party that was hired by, it was all this different shit. There's all speculation around it. But obviously, because Diana is the widely unpopular, she's kind of being the blame being placed on her, essentially. And she filed a lawsuit, and she's citing all these people, from social media and stuff. But yeah, so all commentary is alleged, obviously, as it reads in my description. But yeah, so this is going on, in present, real time. But anyways, we're not really here for that. We're here for the episode. So let's get that going right now. So we kick off with the morning after Sutton was brought to tears by Diana Jenkins, and it was really in the recap we in the little, before they actually play the episode, they do a little what we missed, and just seeing Sutton cry again, it was like, oh my goodness, because she was bawling. It was really bad. So that's the morning after. Lisa Rinna says that Diana was out of control last night, but she also says that hurt can sometimes come out as rage, because Lisa Rinna said that about herself before, and this season actually. Kyle says that she gets Sutton when they speak one-on-one. She's like, Sutton is great when we're one-on-one. I feel like we really connect and I get her. but when we're in group settings, it's just not the same. And Erika agrees. She's like, yeah, she's great one-on-one, but in group, she's just different. So that's what they all say. Rinna says that Sutton acts very high school. That's literally what she said. And Kyle says that she plays mean girl games. She references Sutton and Garcelle both unfollowing Erika. And it's just like, do you guys hear yourselves? They're saying, oh, she acts very high school. Oh, mean girl games. Coming from the girls in the fucking Fox Force 4, previously known as Fox Force 5. The whole allegiance between Kyle Richards, Lisa Rinna, Erika Girardi, Dorit Kemsley, and Teddy Mellencamp Arroyave. She's not in the show anymore, obviously. Thank goodness. But yeah, so they're all just going in and shit. And this, because every now and then, before most episodes, there's like, we see little previews, like little snippets to kind of, that are released ahead of the episode. And this scene was one of them. So we kind of saw this a couple days ago on Twitter. And we're like, oh my goodness. Like, there's straight gaslighting, essentially. That's what it seems like. But yeah, so that's what they say. And meanwhile, we see Sutton, Garcelle, and Cherie, they're on their way to go pick up Erika to go snowmobiling. Because not really half, but like some of the girls are going snowmobiling and the other girls are going skiing. Sutton and Garcelle, they're not super excited to see Erika, but Sutton's being very positive about her non-friend. She's like, I feel like this will be a good experience for me because none of them have ever gone snowmobiling. So Sutton's like, this will be a great experience, just kind of getting out there and doing this. And even if we're with my non-friend, talking about Erika. And then we also see Kyle. She's at the house and she's talking to Kathy because Kathy's still in bed chilling. And Kathy reveals that Dorit left the guest home because Dorit was staying at the other house with Sutton, Garcelle, and Cherie. And that's where Dorit was originally staying. But she wound up leaving because she felt anxious. She wound up going to Diana's specifically at like midnight because I guess Diana got like a suite. And so she's like, girl, I have an extra room. Come through. So Dorit did that. And it kind of makes sense, I guess, because like, they're not in the middle of nowhere, but, like, there are, like, there's a lot of foliage around them, all these trees and shit, and it's, like, not like you have another house right beside you. It's, so I can imagine Dorit was kind of feeling anxious. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? And, yeah, and then it was at a hotel. It's more, she said it's a really secure building, so, yeah, that's what happened. And, Kyle also, she keeps shit-talking Kathy's slippers, the slippers that Kathy wore to the airport and arrived in. By this point in the episode, she's already talked about them twice. She's like, she tells Kathy, you throw those slippers away. And they're kind of like these ratty old slippers and shit. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, like, I can understand why she's talking shit about them because they're kind of like ratty, but it just shows the kind of cycle that Kyle's kind of nitpicking at Kathy. And they are sisters, but they've fallen out, not spoken for years before. They don't have the best, like, I don't know, because obviously, like, I, joke with my brothers and shit, like, talk shit and whatever, but, like, we're close. So I don't know if Kathy likes it, but, we'll get more into that in a little bit. And now the skiing and snowmobiling groups, they go their separate ways. Kathy stays in bed, she stays behind. The ski girls, they go and pick up Diana, and, she claims that she tried being civilized with Sutton for a while, for, like, 2 months. She says that for, like, the past 2 months, I've been trying with Sutton, which I don't really believe. We haven't really seen, at least from what we see on the show. But she says she stands behind her comment. She's like, I said what I said, and I stand behind it. And it's like, okay, girl. And but meanwhile, it is very awkward in the snowmobile van because, mind you, just the night before, Sutton and Erika have their issues of going back to like last year. And the night before, Garcelle and Erika basically agreed to, like, end their friendship, essentially. But yeah, they wind up making it to the snowmobiling place. They have their lesson, and Sutton has a moment with the animals. She's seeing these animals. She, like, ditches the lesson for a bit and goes to, like, there's, like, little petting zoo or some shit. And she's just, like, showing the little goats and shit. And she says, oh, yeah, animals just give me calm. They soothe my soul. They remind me of... She does something about Jesus. She, like, almost, like, liken the animals to Jesus or some shit.
Animals give me calm. Kind of like Jesus.
And then we see some ski antics. Basically, everyone's doing their thing. Dorit sucks, though, because she hasn't skied in, like, 20 years, because we see her falling and shit. Both groups then finish their activities, and they kind of segue to this chill time. The snowmobile both groups then finish their respective activities, and they kind of go to this chill time. The snowmobiling girls, they wind up just going to this place and having, like, hot cocoa and shit, because they can't drink because they're operating, like, a motor vehicle. And the ski girls, they're having, like, Bloody Marys and, like, chips and shit at this little restaurant. So they're just chilling, and the snowmobile girls, which are, again, Garcelle, Sutton, Cherie, and Erika. Just those four. They're talking about what happened the night before with Diana. Garcelle says if she were Sutton, she would never speak to Diana again. Sutton says she's over Diana, because we've seen Sutton in the past, like, with Erika and Lisa Rinna. She'll, like, have her issues with them and be like, but I really like them. I want to make it work with them. She's over that shit with Diana. She's like, no, this is unforgivable. Not getting past that. And she doesn't really want to be around her. And she says she's tried to make it work, but it's just not happening. And Erika agrees that Diana was set off by something. But she alleges that something about Diana's apologies, because something about Sutton's apologies, because Sutton points out, she's like, I've apologized, and Erika's like, well, sometimes some part of your apology comes off as inauthentic. I don't know what it is, but something about it sometimes comes off that way. Sutton receives this, and she says she actually likes Erika. Again, she pulls her that shit. And Garcelle says that she thinks they can really get along if they just cut their bullshit, because Garcelle's like, they're both from the South. They both have, like, they're really opinionated, and they're strong in their opinions, but yeah, so that's what's going on. Would you like to see Sutton and Erika, like, become better friends? Because, Sutton and Erika haven't really gotten into it recently, but remember, just the night before when Diana made that comment about Sutton being a see you next Tuesday, Erika was, like, responded with this boisterous ass, forced ass laughter, just, like, trying to make Sutton basically feel bad, like, we're laughing at you, So, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, but would you like to see them make up and, like, be friends? I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but, we then fast forward to the ladies, and they're prepping for dinner. We see Sutton, she's wearing a shirt, and she has her titties out and shit, and everyone's like, oh, okay, Sutton, because we've never really seen Sutton in something like that. And Kathy makes this comment. She's like, oh, you know why you could wear stuff like that? Because you have small breasts. And if you had big breasts, it would look distasteful or something like that. It's like, okay, Kathy. Garcelle and Erika, they also acknowledge that they had a good time with each other while snowmobiling. Because remember, the night before, they were basically like, we don't have to be friends, blah, blah, blah. But they're kind of seeing where they stand with each other. You know what I mean? Trying to be cordial. And then a short while later, Garcelle and Crystal segue to kind of talking about Erika's earring situation again. Because remember, they talked about it on FaceTime for a bit before the Aspen trip. The whole $750,000 earring thing about how, someone wanted Erika to give up those earrings because it would help pay the victims, the people who were allegedly defrauded by Tom Girardi. And Erika's, like, refusing to do so unless she's, like, ordered to. And so they bring that up again, and they're both like, why does she want to keep them? Like, if they were ill-gotten, like, she should give them up. And Garcelle says she foresees that Erika might have an issue with the comments that Garcelle made about the earrings. Because Garcelle talked about it on The Real, with the show she's on. And it has not aired yet, but she's like, it's gonna come out soon, and I feel like she may have a real issue with it, which I think she's right. We into the ladies en route to dinner. We can also kind of see that Cherie isn't really feeling Sutton. Like, it appears that she's not really vibing with Sutton that much. And we also know in real time, Cherie is basically making an argument and siding with Rinna and Diana's comments on Garcelle and Sutton. She's basically saying, I feel like Sutton and Garcelle being so close kind of makes others apprehensive to approach Garcelle, essentially. So we kind of see little bits of Cherie not really feeling Sutton. She doesn't say anything or do anything egregious, but she doesn't seem to be her biggest fan. Everyone's at the restaurant, and ladies, they're just discussing fashions, essentially. Like, oh, this is Ogden McQueen. Oh, I have this vintage shit. They're just talking about, like, their clothes and shit that they own. Erika then joins the conversation, and she in particular is speaking on some of the expensive shit she has. She says that she has this like $1,800 purse that she's never used or whatever. And she's like, oh, I've found all kinds of fabulous shit when I was moving. Like, she's talking and talking about it. And Garcelle then brings the earrings up. She's like, something about, what about the $750,000? Something about the earrings. She brings up to Erika. And when they're kind of talking about it a bit, Garcelle says she thinks that Erika should give them up. She says it like to her directly. And Erika says, oh, I'll gladly give them up, but only if the judge tells me to do so. And Erika says that she'll do what the law mandates, but she's not going to give them up because it's a legal case. Because essentially Erika's mindset seems to be, if I give these up, it's almost like me acknowledging that, you know, there was wrongdoing going on. She's trying to protect herself by not doing that. And so, I'll get more into it in a little bit, but that's kind of where she's at. Garcelle says, oh, it's not about saying I'm guilty. It's about saying I have compassion. And Garcelle asks if Erika cares if they're stolen, and Erika says yes, because there has to be justice under the law. So Erika keeps talking about the law, and like she's eventually says something about like, oh, the law is paramount. The law is like the most important thing, essentially. And so I see what Erika, because mind you, I've seen situations where it's like, oh, like people throw things like if you apologize for something, and it's like, oh, well, why'd you apologize if you didn't do anything wrong? So it's kind of the same thing, like why'd you give up the earrings if you didn't do anything wrong? So that's where Erika's mindset is, but everyone else is like, or Garcelle at this point, she's basically saying, oh no, like you should give them up, you know, just the whole controversy around them, you should just give them up. That's basically Garcelle saying, and it's about showing that you have compassion for the victims. The food comes out. There's a little moment between Dorit and Mauricio, and because people are speculating for like the past couple seasons, like, oh, Dorit and Mauricio are probably having an affair, some shit like that. People are saying on Twitter. Dorit actually acknowledged it earlier this year. She like shut that shit down. She was disgusted and flabbergasted. She's like, my children call him Uncle Mo. How dare you? But yes, there's a little moment of them talking. We see the producers just egging that shit on. And Kyle starts making fun of Kathy's shopping bag purse, because Kathy's just minding her own business, and Kyle's like, Diana, look at Kathy's purse. And then Diana starts laughing, because Kathy has like this, it's like this shot, like the little tote bag you get from like a grocery store. And Kyle points it out, she's laughing about it. And again, they're sisters, I get it, but just knowing like some of the history between them, we don't even know all the history, like God, we do not know, but knowing what we do know, it's kind of like, well, I don't know. It just continued, like, these little small things. And it's just like, I don't know, Kyle. Because considering their history, and it doesn't seem, like, out of fun. It's like they're laughing at her, not with, you know what I mean? But yeah, then everyone winds up heading to the house to chill. Lisa Rinna brings out these fucking edibles, and it's just like, okay, girl.
Yeah, but it tastes like weed.
Bitter.
That's what it is.
Kathy then takes a moment to kind of promote this tequila brand that both she and Nikki Hilton are investors in. I forget the name of it. Something with sol in the name, like sun in Spanish. Something with sol. I don't remember the name of it, though. And Kyle starts making fun of her. She kind of interrupts her while she's doing her spiel, making her little presentation. Lisa Rinna is like, here we go again, because I guess Kathy did something similar at a previous party. And no one's down to take a shot for different reasons. Sutton's like, oh, I don't drink tequila, I drink vodka. Erika's like, last time I had tequila, I cussed Garcelle's son out. So everyone's just not down. And Cal seems pleased at Kathy's flop. We kind of see, everyone starts saying no. We see a moment of Kyle smiling. And it seems very just, I don't know, because again, it's just like, I get it, I have siblings, I get it, but it's just like, they don't seem that close, they just started talking again. I don't know, and it seems like Kyle's doing it, like, not to, like, mess around, but just kind of to, like, jab, you know? And this is the moment that Paris Hilton said was really rude and really mean. Because, yeah, she's trying to have a moment, promote her brand, as everyone does. You know, everyone promotes their brand, as everyone should. But yeah, so it's kind of whack. Not really a good moment. And then we see that while Garcelle is with Dorit, Diana, and Crystal, she brings up Erika's earring situation again. Garcelle is determined to get this story out there. And she mentions that Erika says she'll only return them if the law says so. And Diana, she says something in the confessional. She's like, if Garcelle cares so much, maybe she should donate to the victims fund herself. Sell your own pair of earrings. And I'm not gonna lie, I do not fuck with Diana, but I was like, okay, she kind of made a point. Because, like, just going, obviously Garcelle's not involved in it, but it's like, okay, well, if you feel like you should give them up for the victims, girl, you donate yourself. I understood it a little bit. I'm sorry. Fuck, I hate when someone I don't like makes a point that I'm like, okay. Garcelle then invites Erika over so that she doesn't have to talk behind her back. And Erika, she doubles down on not doing anything she doesn't have to do. She's like, I'm not going to do anything unless the law tells me to. She's just like, I'm staying out of it. I'm just going by what the law says. Fuck everything else. Fuck opinions. Crystal asks if doing what's right is more important, essentially. She's like, well, aren't there cases where what's right might be versus the law? And Erika says, no, the law is precedent. The law, she's like a total legalist, just like, the law. And, but yeah, so Callus describes it really well, because again, Erika's like, I'm not going to do anything that may be interpreted to suggest that I'm guilty. But it's like, well, everyone already thinks that. You know what I mean? It's like, could giving up the earrings really make it like that much worse? Because it seems to be more about the principle for Erika. She's like, I'm not doing it because of the principle. It's going to make me, you know what I mean? It's not really about the earrings. It seems it's just about how it might make her look. But it's like, girl, everyone already thinks you did it. Like, everyone already thinks, not everyone obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of speculation on her already. That's like, would it really make it worse, you know? But, I don't know, I get what Erika's saying about, like, I'm not gonna involve myself in that shit. But Cal later on points out, she's like, girl, you could just do, like, if I were in a situation, I would be making a statement. Like, just some bullshit statement, like, oh, I'm shocked and outraged over these, I'm shocked and, like, disgusted about these allegations. We said our best, like, so, please be patient as we await the legal process to take its course, like, something. But yeah, and then Crystal and Garcelle, they say that they would give the earrings up because they would have compassion. Then Erika accuses them of just trying to look good in the court of public opinion. Crystal says, you're not showing empathy because you're afraid that you'll look guilty. Then Erika and Crystal go head to head. They really just go at it. Crystal really held her own, though. Erika gets very bratty and defensive, though. Erika's like, what are the facts? What are the facts? And Crystal, she says, oh, the facts are that people died and they, like, didn't get defrauded. Like, those are the facts. Something like that. And Erika's like, those aren't the facts. What are the facts? Cite it. Cite it. And I got, like, flashbacks to my fucking English class. I was like, oh. But, yeah. And then Erika says something about the potential victims. Like, she qualifies it with potential. And Garcelle acts all surprised. She's like, the potential victims. And it's like, okay, like, I get, because, okay, I work as an online news writer, and we're writing about crime and stuff that, like, hasn't gone to trial yet. You have to kind of put alleged in front of everything. Because, it hasn't gone to, we don't know yet. Like, we technically, like, so it's really frustrating, especially if it's, like, what went, like, this person's guilty, but it's, like, they haven't been found guilty yet. So it's still, like, he allegedly did this. We don't know for sure yet, because, it hasn't been tried. We haven't, like, decided. But he's alleged to have done this. So I kind of get what Erika's saying about that. And I feel like Garcelle should, too. Like, she works on The Real. Like, she talks about, like, you got to qualify that shit. Allegedly and potential, supposed. Those are very powerful terms. You know what I mean? It can save your ass. And Erika says, just because someone said something doesn't make it true. Kyle's taken aback by this. Again, Kyle in confessional, she says if she were in Erika's shoes, she would have definitely at least released some bullshit statement, like, just to look like you care. Hell, I'm sure that half the people who release these public statements don't actually give a fuck, but they do it to look good. And I'm not saying that that's right, that that's okay, but something to be conscientious of. You can't just be in the public eye on fucking Housewives and disregard the court of public opinion. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. The court of public opinion is what's keeping you going, bitch, you know? But yeah, so I'm agree with Kyle on this one, because again, I get what Erika's saying about, like, I don't want to do anything that may backfire on me. It's kind of like, if you get questioned about something, it's like, I am not answering any questions with a fucking lawyer. Like, even if I didn't do that shit, I'm not answering anything, because I'm not going to fucking say something that could be twisted and used against me. I'm getting a fucking lawyer. Bring my public defender. You know, but yes, but I also really agree with Kyle with what she's saying about, like, you can't release a statement, you know? But yeah, and again, if Erika were to do as Garcelle and Crystal want, you know, to return the earrings or to give them up, would it really make her look any worse than she already looks? Like, would it? You know? I don't know. Crystal then goes on to say that she's just worried about the victims. Erika says that she doesn't give a fuck about anyone but herself. Straight up says that shit. Carol then chimes in person, and she basically sides with Garcelle and Crystal. And she says that it's not just about the law. There are people and victims, like, involved. Because Erika's like, oh, you know, if the law finds me not guilty, then I'm not guilty. You know, not guilty. It's a civil case. It's not a criminal trial or anything. But yeah, because it's basically, it's just so, like, it's like, you know, like the ethos, pathos, and logos, like the logic, emotion, credibility. It's like, Erika right now is just in logo. She's like, the law has not dealt with it. It is still in litigation, blah, blah, blah. But everyone else is kind of like, girl, where's your compassion? Like, there are people, there are victims, there are people who, like, whose lives have been affected by this. But yeah, and then Kyle says that they should have sensitivity for the victims. And Kyle straight up Erika, she flat out says, oh, Kyle, the only person you should be worried about is me. Because Erika's basically like, you don't know the victims. You know me. So you should be worried about me and how I'm doing, how I'm handling the situation. And so, yeah, it's really weird. Dorit, she feels similar to Kyle. And they both really feel like Erika's comments are indefensible. They're like, girl, you're my friend, but you're burning your own bridges right now, and I cannot help you. Like, you're on your own, girl. I'm doing what I can, but shit. Erika keeps saying, they're not my victims. They're not my victims. Like, basically, even if Tom Girardi did do this shit, I'm not involved. I may have benefited from it, but they are not my victims. Which, you know, is true. She didn't defraud them, but she still benefited from, you know, so it's, well, in my mind, it's kind of like, it's like when God, like, the case with, I believe it was like this with, whose mom? Was it Mia's mom? Someone's mom on, like, another Housewives show. I think it might have been Mia's mom, like, what's up, guys? It's editing me here. So, it was actually Dr. Nicole, the anesthesiologist from Real Housewives of Miami, season 4, the most recent season. She was the one. It was her dad. He was, like, in some tax evasion shit, and, when he went to jail for it, his wife and her mom, she was left, like, high and dry and shit, so it wasn't Mia from Potomac. It was Nicole from Miami. I just couldn't think of it while I was recording. All right, bye. Her dad, like, went to prison for, like, financial shit, and then they took all of her mom's, like, assets or whatever. Like, even though she was the one doing the crime, she still got shit taken from her. Because, like, okay, well, these are ill-gotten gains, so we're taking it. So I feel like it's like, well, if that's the case with regular people, is that similar with Erika? I don't know, but Erika's saying they're not my victims. I'm just a wife who was left in ruins. And then Rinna realizes that, like, okay, it's getting bad. She's starting to kind of just keep saying shit because Erika's just going off right now. And she tries to get Erika out of there. She's like, okay, let's go home. Let's bounce. Fuck it. And Erika leaves in a tirade. So it was like, this episode was kind of a little bit chaotic, but not chaotic in, like, the ooh kind of way. It was like, you know, I believe just over the course of one day, But yeah, and so, again, I understand what Erika's saying about the, like, I'm not gonna do anything that may make me, like, look guilty, but it's like, girl, would you look any worse than you already look? You know, it's like, you can't release a bullshit statement, you can't, like, act like you give a fuck, you can't act like you're concerned, like, she's going, like, off this ice queen shit, and it's like, it's not gonna serve her well, it's widely unpopular, but, so it's like, I get her mindset, what she's thinking about it, but her execution is piss poor, and, like, needs to be improved upon. Does that make sense? Because it's like, I don't know, because I see her just being like, okay, I'm just not going to interfere with anything, I'm just going to let it handle itself, let my lawyers handle that shit. But it's like, you look bad. Like, so I don't know, it's a really complex issue, I think. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear it, love to read it. But yeah, that is the episode, and in the next episode, we'll start to see some of the Kathy shit go down in Aspen. But with how Kyle and Lisa Rinna have been acting in this episode, like, I hope Kathy fucking went off on them. But yeah, we haven't really seen much of the Kathy stuff, but I think it was just something concocted by Lisa Rinna just to be a bitch. I don't know, though, but we'll find out together. So thank you for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much. Bye.